Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're going to dive into something really interesting from the world of historical remedies.
Oh, yeah. What do we got?
We're looking at a specific plant, one with a pretty unique reputation. It's called Cineraria maritima.
Ah, Dusty Miller.
I know the one.
Exactly, Dusty Miller. And its role in traditional medicine is quite surprising. So, our mission today is really to unpack what our source tells us.
And the source is.
We're using excerpts from the Homeopathic Materia Medica by William Boericke, a well-respected text.
Right, Boericke. Definitely a key figure.
So what does this specific Materia Medica actually say about Cineraria maritima? What was it for? How did they use it? Let's unpack that.
Okay, and maybe just quickly for anyone listening who isn't familiar, a materia medica like Boericke's, it's basically a big reference book, a compendium.
Right, like an encyclopedia of remedy.
Exactly, really detailed. It lists the substances, what they were thought to treat, how to prepare them, how to use them. It's fundamental for understanding these traditional approaches. Got it. So with that background, let's jump into Boericke. The text makes some, pretty specific claims about Dusty Miller.
Mm-hmm.
It says, Cineraria maritima has a reputation in the cure of cataract and corneal opacities.
Wow, okay, that specific, not just eye problem.
No, exactly. Cataract and corneal opacities. From your perspective, what's the significance of that level of precision in a historical text like this?
Well, that's what's fascinating here, isn't it? That precision. Because, cataracts, that's the clouding of the lens inside the eye.
Right, leads to blurry vision.
Yes. And corneal opacities, they're also about clouding, but on the cornea, the clear front part of the eye. So they're distinct issues.
Okay.
For a traditional remedy to be linked so specifically, it suggests, a pretty careful observation. It implies they understood these different parts of the eye and weren't just making vague claims about sore eyes or something.
That makes sense. So they believed it targeted these specific things. How did they actually administer it?
What does Boericke say?
He's very clear. It was used externally by instilling into the eye 1 drop 4 or 5 times a day.
Okay, so eye drops make sense for eye conditions.
Yeah. But here's the kicker, the duration. This treatment must be kept up for several months.
Several months, wow.
Yeah.
That's a serious commitment.
Yeah.
It really raises questions, doesn't it, about the kind of patience required back then.
Definitely. Both from the patient and the practitioner.
And it suggests, that these conditions, cataracts and opacities, were probably seen as chronic, slow-moving things.
Yeah.
Not something you'd expect a quick fix for.
Right. It speaks to a different relationship with time and treatment, maybe.
I think so. A lot of persistence, a lot of trust involved in following that kind of regimen for so long.
Okay. And what about effectiveness? Does Boericke comment on when it worked best?
Good question. Does he?
He does. He states it's most effective in traumatic cases.
Traumatic cases. Interesting.
What do you think that means in this context? Trauma to the eye.
That's the most likely interpretation, I'd say. If we think about it, traumatic probably points to cataracts or opacities that develop because of an injury.
Like getting hit in the eye or something penetrating it?
Exactly, something like that. It suggests they might have distinguished those injury-induced cases from, say, age-related cataracts, which are more common today.
So maybe they thought this remedy had a specific strength when trauma was a cause.
It certainly seems that way. It points to a niche application almost.
And it's interesting. Boericke doesn't just talk about Cineraria on its own. He lists other remedies too, for comparison, specifically for cataract.
Ah, the comparative remedies. That's typical for a materia medica. What does he list?
Let's see. Phos, platanus, cannabis, causticum, naphthalene, ledum, napmer, and silica. Quite a mix.
It is a mix, isn't it? You've got elements like phosphorus, plants like platanus and cannabis, minerals like natrium muriaticum, salt, and silica.
So what's the point of listing those?
Well, it positions Cineraria maritima within a kind of toolkit. It shows it wasn't seen as the only option, but one possibility among others.
Right.
It implies this systematic approach where maybe the choice depended on the individual patient or the specific presentation of the cataract, but part of a larger framework.
Okay, that makes sense. So let's just quickly recap what we've unpacked about Cineraria maritima or Dusty Miller from Boericke.
Sure.
We've seen it had the specific reputation for cataracts and corneal opacities.
Very specific.
The application was external eye drops, 1 drop, several times a day,
4 or 5 times, yeah.
And crucially, it required a long commitment, several months.
A key point, that duration.
Plus, it was noted as being particularly effective in traumatic cases.
Right. Cases likely linked to eye injuries.
So, looking at this kind of specific traditional knowledge, even from, a historical text, what's the real value for us today?
Oh, I think the value is huge, actually. It gives us this incredible window into how people in the past understood the body, how they classified diseases, how they approached treatment.
It's a different way of thinking about health.
Completely. It shows different paradigms of healing, often based heavily on careful observation rather than, say, the controlled trials we rely on now. It highlights how effectiveness itself could be defined and perceived differently.
That's a great point. And it leads to a final thought for you listening at home. Considering that commitment we talked about using eye drops multiple times a day for several months, what does that tell you about the perceived relationship between time, treatment, and getting results in these historical health practices?
Yeah, that connection between patience, persistence, and the expectation of healing.
Something to definitely ponder.